Hey guys, Spirit of the Law here. So I'm working on a Korean Civ overview, and that's coming up next, and I'm testing out some of their bonuses. Now it says in the expansion they build fortifications 25% faster, so I'm checking that out and found what I can only describe as a loose thread. And you know me, I had to pull it and see what happens. The thing is, I don't want to make it a huge tangent in the middle of the overview, so here it is as its own video. The question is whether it matters when you get the fortified wall tech, and there's some surprising stuff going on, so let's check it out. Here I am in the regular HD base version of the game. I want to wall this stretch here, let's say, and if I'm a regular generic civilization with no building bonuses, I build a wall across this 15 tile gap and it takes 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Now if I redo it but pick up fortified walls first, everything is the same except I'm making those instead of stone walls, obviously. The same 15 tile gap takes 2 minutes and 21 seconds. That's how we're used to playing the game, and it averages about 9.4 seconds per piece of wall, including the walk time to build it. And that's going to be the same for the Koreans in the base game, though the Spanish are going to build it a bit faster. Now let's switch to the expansions and set up another 15 tile stretch, and we'll see how long it takes to build. We have the same civilization, and last time it was 2 minutes and 21 seconds, but this time we get 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Which is 11.4 seconds per wall segment, including the walk time. So it looks like in the expansions, it's about an extra 2 seconds per piece of wall. That's not totally unexpected, since it says in the Forgotten Empire changelog that walls take an extra 3 seconds to build, and maybe that's now 2 seconds since that was a few years ago. If you didn't know that, now you do. In the expansions, walls take longer to build, and they also have 1800 health instead of 3000. Now we try it with the Koreans, and they're about 22% faster at 2 minutes and 20 seconds. It's supposed to be 25% thanks to the new bonus, but the walking speed isn't changed, so it makes sense to me that it's a little bit off. So far, really as long as you're aware of the changes, nothing surprising has happened so far, but wait for it. If we do the fortified wall experiment again as Japanese who represent any old generic wall building civilization, in the base game fortified walls were the same speed as stone walls, but this time it takes 3 minutes and 5 seconds, which is 15 seconds more than the stone walls, or 1 second for each piece of wall. That means in the expansions, if you're trying to get walls, you're better off building them as stone first and then upgrading them to fortified. It's just an extra 15 seconds for this one strip of wall, but imagine trying to wall in your whole base, and that could easily be the difference between walling your opponent out and letting them slip through an unfinished section that you haven't gotten to yet. The difference in build time isn't advertised, and it's small enough I probably wouldn't even have noticed that originally. But watch what happens with Koreans making fortified walls. Remember, they stonewalled that section in 2 minutes and 20 seconds, 22% faster than the generic civilization. Now what do you think is going to happen? Are they going to wall it in at the same speed as their stone walls, or is it going to be 22% faster than the new, longer fortified wall speed? It turns out not only are their fortified walls longer to build than their stone walls, it's even worse. They don't get their bonus at all anymore. It takes them 3 minutes and 5 seconds just like everybody else. That means it's extra important for a Korean player in the expansions to make the stone walls first, or the wall takes 32% longer to build. I mentioned the Spanish before, so let's try it with them now. They build stone walls in 2 minutes and 16 seconds, or about 26% faster than normal. That's about what we'd expect, and it looks like their bonus is working properly. It's the same thing with fortified walls, and they just take a little bit longer. So overall, it looks like the Spanish bonus is working properly. Here's all that info again in a graph, and the two weird relationships we're talking about is, first of all, in the expansions, the build time is no longer the same for stone and fortified walls, but also that the Koreans go from a faster build time than the generic civilization to being the same as the generic civilization. The Mayans' cheaper wall bonus also seems to work just fine, and their stone and fortified walls are 40% cheaper either way, so the Koreans just seem to be the only ones getting the short end of the stick. So if you like to build walls or play Koreans in the expansion, it's probably worth making a note of those things. I don't mean this as a criticism of the expansions, and I think they did a great job and they're a lot of fun to play. I'm just the kind of guy that when I see a loose thread, I have to pull it. I'm not even saying that I think they should patch it. I think there's tons of little things like this in Age of Empires, and part of learning each civilization is knowing those little things and how to optimize your strategy to take those into account. In fact, unintentional or not, I think they should leave it in there, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, back to work on that Civ overview. That should be out pretty soon. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.